Fifth City is a prominent territory of the Vice Lords, one of the oldest and most influential street gangs in Chicago. Within the Vice Lords, the unknown Vice Lords stand out as a significant subset. The Vice Lords originated in the late 1950s, founded by a group of African American youths incarcerated at the Illinois State Training School for Boys in St. Charles. This initial formation laid the groundwork for what would become a complex and influential organization.
Find out right now where the Lords stand. See, we got some Lords, city Lords, and they Lords until they get in trouble.
The Vice Lords began in 1958 when 7 young dudes got out of prison together.
You see,
10 years later, there were 10,000 Lords. They became a nation, and the nation's spokesman was Bobby Gore. As a boy, forced out into the ghetto streets, Bobby Gore learned to fight. Bobby was part of that first black generation on the West Side that banded together under names like Comanche, Tomahawk, and Vikings, and later came to be called gangs.
The idea of the Vice Lord originated from Illinois State Training School for Boys in 1957 going into 58. The dudes that was in St. Charles, all the guys in St. Charles belongs to organizations such as the Cobras, Imperial Chaplains, the Clovers, the Braves, the Imperial Knights, the Imperial Dukes, the Spanish Counts, the Barons, several organizations. We had common enemies at that time, but we didn't know who they was. Now we realize the common enemies we had really was police, 95%. We normally had said that the white man normally was the Lord of all vice, so we just took their title. You know, instead of the syndicate of the mafia, you know, we just wanted to be Vice Lord.
She sat down with a family whose gang activity has been really part of the family business now for generations.
Inside the home of this West Side Chicago family, you find a common thread, a way of life started by this father, passed on to his nephews, and now his sons.
I want to do a show of hands. I mean, how many generations have been in a gang? What was the first generation? And the second generation? And then the next? So it's just gone through the family.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I ain't proud of that, Tim.
Jetty Williams is a little hard to understand now since his stroke, but at one time, no voice carried more weight in Chicago's gang world. A former leader of the notorious Vice Lords gang, Williams spent most of his life awaiting trial, on probation, or in prison. He's since given up gang life.
I don't like my kids being about that, but I can't lay there and tell you, don't do this when your daddy done it. I'm not gonna be no hypocrite.
But his legacy continued.
I did robberies. You know, that was my specialty. You know, we didn't go around hurting innocent people like the kids do these days. You know, it was more about money, power, and respect, and who can get to the top of the hill first. But doing that, we still had loyalty to who started this.
Through this generation era, it bled down into them. When it got down to them, the blood was running in the streets. And they had no guidance, because a lot of us was locked up. So they had no guidance.
Meet the Vice Lords. We got 50-shot Max, this small. We got Techs. We got 30-30s.
Right. You hunting people?
Right. Anybody who trying to come through our building.
If one of us go down, they going down too.
If one of us go down, everybody got to go.
The whole family on a gun except for me, but I can get a gun anytime I want.
You got a gun now? Show it to us. Can you?
The unknown Vice Lords, started by Willie Lloyd, are a subset of the larger Vice Lords gang, one of the oldest and most significant street gangs in Chicago. The Vice Lords originated in the late 1950s, founded by a group of African American youths incarcerated at the Illinois State Training School for Boys in St. Charles. This initial formation laid the groundwork for what would become a complex and influential organization. The Vice Lords quickly expanded their influence across Chicago, establishing various factions, including the unknown Vice Lords. The 1960s and 1970s saw the gang becoming deeply entrenched in Chicago's neighborhoods. They clashed with rival gangs such as the Latin Kings and the Disciples, as they sought to protect and dominate their territories. The unknown Vice Lords, like other factions of the Vice Lords, evolved over time. In the 1980s and beyond, they became more organized and structured, developing a constitution and a hierarchical system. Fifth City, one of the original territories of the unknown Vice Lords dating back to the 1960s, has been a significant area of conflict. Since the 1980s, the unknown Vice Lords from Fifth City have been in ongoing disputes with both the Black Souls and the traveling Vice Lords. Fifth Avenue, also known as the J-Boys, is an unknown Vice Lord set located at 5th and Miller. Boog Mob Yodi Money Team, an unknown Vice Lord set, is located at Spalding and Van Buren. My Sean Money Team, an unknown Vice Lord set located at Monroe and Holman, is known for including the famous rapper G-Nizzle. St. Louis Money Family, an unknown Vice Lord set, is located at 5th and St. Louis. History of the unknown Vice Lords is a testament to the evolution and influence of street gangs in Chicago. From their origins in the late 1950s to their structured and hierarchical form in the present day, the unknown Vice Lords have played a crucial role in the Vice Lords' territorial conflicts and organizational development. Key territories like Fifth City and notable sets such as Fifth Avenue aka J-Boys, St. Louis Money Family, Boog Mob Yodi Money Team, and My Sean Money Team highlight the extensive reach and impact of the unknown Vice Lords in Chicago's gang landscape.